Hi, everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. I am Tony Abatey, and we are at Marvel Park Stadium here in Parsons, Kansas, as the Fort Scott Tigers get ready to play the Parsons Vikings this evening here in a non-SEK League football matchup. As we talked all week, these two teams, of course, in the SEK for every sport but football. Or Parsons is, at least, anyway. Of course, Fort Scott still is in football. But we are closing in on kickoff here as the Tigers have come onto the field, and now I believe the Vikings are getting ready to enter from the south end zone as we are up here in the only bleachers here at the stadium, a very old stadium here in Parsons, a place they've played football for many, many years, the Vikings, and of course just one set of bleachers. Visitors on the north side of the bleachers. Visiting fans, home fans on the south end and in the middle of the bleachers here. So looking forward to this. They're also, if you didn't see Facebook, Parsons honoring one of their fallen players. Who passed away over the summer.
Here come the Parsons Vikings.
Jamarcus Washington. And his number was number 2. You will not see a number 2 on their roster this year. Sure, in honor of Jamarcus. And everybody was encouraged to wear green tonight as well in honor of him. And so you'll see quite a bit of green here tonight for these two schools that, of course, Fort Scott in red and white. And Parsons in blue and gold. But their home opener is they were on the road last week at Labette County and lost that game. Talked a little bit about that at the volleyball match last night. Parsons lost last week to Labette County, and the final score was not necessarily indicative of the game. It was 42-14, I believe was the final there, if I can find it on my sheet.
Tonight, we pause for a moment.
And I think they're going to have their reflection of Jamarcus here. So we'll go ahead and bow out for just a moment, turn the microphone up, and hopefully you can hear that at home.
Jamarcus was a great football player and also a friend and inspiration to many of us. As you have noticed, many are wearing green in honor of Jamarcus. So let us take a moment to honor Jamarcus' memory. Please join us in a moment of silence to reflect on the joy and positivity he brought into our lives. Thank you. Jamarcus will always be remembered for his bright smile, his passion for football, and his friendship to our school community. Thank you. Hey, football fans.
So with that, we're just about ready to get things underway here this evening.
Vector the Viking is back, and he is a football fan as well. He will be delivering tonight's game ball to the head referee. After he hands off the ball, please give him an applause. Make it loud, and he might show the crowd a few dance moves. Please give a hand to our Parsons High School robotics program.
Not sure if you heard that over the microphone there, but they've got a robotics program here at Parsons High School. And they have designed a robot, looks a little bit like a puppy dog out there, and he's delivering the game ball to the officials. I tell you what, some of the STEM stuff school districts have gotten into over the last few years are just incredible. I'm sure this is probably part of that in some way for Parsons. So congratulations to those students who put that together. And we're even closer to kickoff now here at Marvel Park Stadium.
Good luck to the Parsons High School varsity
See if we can get the coin toss here. But anyway, Parsons last week lost to Labette County. The final score was 42-14, but there were a couple of pick sixes for the Grizzlies in that game, and a couple other short field situations for Labette County to kind of run that score up, and it was 21-8, I believe, at halftime. So it was not that lopsided until late in the fourth quarter. Looks like your captains tonight, Lennox Van, along with Jaden Garcia. I believe Luke Harris out there as Fort Scott will receive to start this one here tonight.
Fort Scott will receive the opening kick.
And I think Colton Rogers is the fourth captain for the Tigers this evening. But anyway, Fort Scott, of course, received the opening kick last week, took it down, scored on the first possession, and that set into motion a pretty good night for the Fort Scott Tigers. We'll see if they can do that again here this evening. Fort Scott in the all-white tonight. White jerseys, white pants, and white helmets. Of course, Parsons with the gold helmets. Blue jerseys with the gold sleeves. And then the white pants. Of course, Fort Scott typically, and it looks like they've gotten those. It didn't have the tiger paws last week on those white helmets, but they do have them this week. The Vikings have the Viking horn similar to the Minnesota Vikings, but much smaller, it appears, on their helmet. So with that, we're about ready to get things underway here this evening. Corbin Harris is the kicker for Parsons. He will kick off. Back deep for the Tigers. Looks like Morgan Shaw is back there with Dub Chipman. And I believe on the other side is Dirks Kegler. And remember, Dirks had a kick return for a touchdown last week in that game against Paola. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm probably going to call Parsons Paola a few times tonight because that's who we played last week. And the alliteration there with the P's at the beginning of their names, but hopefully that will not happen very often. As again, the Vikings will go right to left across your screen. Thanks again for joining us on Duckbait TV. We are underway. A little pooch kick near side. It's going to be picked up by Messer. He's going to just land on it there, right around the 31, maybe the 32. And that's where Fort Scott will have it first down and 10. They will put it at the 31. Starting quarterback once again for the Tigers, Lennox Van. Colton Rogers will be his fullback. The slot backs look to be Dub Chipman and Brady Messer once again. Trace Metcalf, the only junior in the starting 22 for Fort Scott, offense and defense. He's one of the wide receivers. Ty Marbury will also be one of the wide receivers. And then along that front line, left tackle to right tackle, Adam Wright, Jaden Garcia, Blake Tomasi at center, Luke Harris, and Wesley Cox on that front line for the Fort Scott Tigers. They're going to hand it off to Colton Rogers on the first play of the game, and he's going to get 7, maybe 8 on play, and we'll call it 7, and about half. They put it right in between the 38 and 39-yard line. So second down and about 3.5 here for the Tigers. Upcoming. Yeah, about 2.5. The wrong half-yard line there. Handoff this time goes left side to Colton. He gets the first down and maybe 1 more yard. So it'll be first and 10 for the Tigers. This is something Labette County was able to do last week against Parsons. They were able to run the ball very well. Of course, we'll see the Grizzlies on homecoming in a couple of weeks. So look forward to that game. But Parsons had trouble, especially early on in that game, dealing with the offensive line of Labette County, so we'll see if the Tigers can give them the same troubles here early in this game. They're going to pitch it to Dub Chipman around the left side. He's going to get around the 40 to the 50, gets shoved out of bounds near the first down marker. We'll see where they spot it, but it's going to be a big gain on 1st and 10 for the Tigers and Dub Chipman. So 1st down and 10 for Fort Scott. Across midfield, they will put it at the 47 of the Parsons Vikings here. Clock rolling. Actually, it stopped as Dub did get shoved out of bounds there. 10:56 to go here in the quarter. Lennox going to keep the ball himself. Nice fake on that one as he rode his fullback, Colton Rogers, about 3 or 4 yards down the field before pulling it. He's going to get out to the 40. So a nice gain on 1st down for the Tigers and Lennox Van. Brings up 2nd down. We'll call it 2. Actually, the scoreboard's calling it 2. We're going to call it 3. Either way, it's 2nd and short for the Tigers. Van keeps it around the right side. He's going to try to turn it upfield, and I believe he got enough for the 1st down. We'll see where they mark it. It's going to be close. But either way, a nice gain for Lennox and the Tigers on that play. They needed the 42, and it looks like the ball is right next to the 42. They're going to say it's short by about an inch. And they haven't measured. Handoff goes to Colton Rogers, and he's going to get a yard or 2, but he got enough for the 1st down. You see that pole right in our camera's way. This is a pretty old stadium here. Nice little complex. They got football, softball, and baseball all right here in the same area, but the grandstands are really old, and the best way to put them together, and a little overhang as well. So if we had weather, it'd be a nice place to be as well. But with that roof, we've got those poles to hold it up. So we'll try to get around that as quickly as we can. Back to pass, Lennox Van. He'll throw it down the middle of the field. He's got Messer. Oh, just a little bit too long. There is a flag coming in, and that's in the offensive backfield. We'll see what this is about. Brady Messer came wide open, and he ran 4 vertical, and they're going to get a hold on Fort Scott anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. So they're going to push him back here. But, again, a great play call for the Tigers. You run it, you run it, you run it. You bring out that passing play. You suck up all those defenders. Bring out the passing play, and Messer was open. Just a little bit too far for his reach. The penalty would have negated it anyway. So 1st down and 20 now for the Tigers. Ball back at the 45. Still on Parsons' side of the field. And handoff goes to Morgan Shaw around the right side. He's got a big hole. He's going to get all of the penalty yardage back and maybe a 1 or 2 more, as it'll be 2nd down and manageable here for the Tigers. Fort Scott subbed Shaw in for, I believe Brady was the one that came out for a quick breather after that long run down the middle of the field. And Shaw got 11 yards on the play. 2nd down and 9. Clock rolls under 9 minutes to go here in the 1st quarter. Lennox going to keep it around the left side. Everybody thought he gave it to the dive back, and he's going to get the 1st down. So a nice run again by Lennox. He turned it up the field and got the 1st down inside the 25-yard line. We'll see where they mark it officially, but again, a great job by the Tigers. Everybody on the Parsons defense thought he gave that to Colton Rogers, and he kept it around the left side, and he's either him or his pitch man. Either one was going to have a huge gain on that play, and it worked out for Lennox to get the 1st down. Coming in now is Jacob Adams, 5'9", 230-pound junior for the Tigers. He subs in. Ryder Newton, Jacob Adams, Morgan Shaw, the 3 top subs from last week. We'll see them, I would imagine, quite a bit here tonight. Already seen Morgan a couple of times as he gets the ball again. This time gets shoved back, though. I think they'll give him the line of scrimmage for forward progress. It'll be 2nd and 10. But not much there on the play as the Parsons defense steps up. Play clock down to 8. Tigers taking their time here. They've got 4 receivers in the formation now, 2 to each side. Back to pass, and Lennox got tripped up. They did that last week a couple of times where they spread everybody out and run Lennox right up the middle, and if he could have gotten past the line of scrimmage, he probably would have had a pretty good gain on that one, but he got tripped up there. I'm not sure if maybe he stepped on a teammate's foot or something, but just got tripped up there at the last second and gets taken down. They'll give him the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of half a yard. It's 3rd down and about 10 coming up for the Tigers here. They were 7 for 11 on 3rd down conversions last week in the game against Paola. Throw near side, and it's nearly intercepted by the defensive back over on the far side. I believe that was Jason Smart over there. So it's 4th down. Now the Tigers last week didn't have many 4th downs to take there, but they were 2 for 2 on 4th down last week. And they're going to take a timeout and talk about this as it is 4th down and 10. Fort Scott takes its first timeout with 6:51 to go here in the first quarter. Tigers, as far as stats last week, they were led. No real surprise here. Lennox Van had the most carries and the most yards. Also scored 4 touchdowns for the Tigers on the ground last week. Morgan Shaw had the best average at 6.83 yards per carry. The longest run from scrimmage was Colton Rogers. He had a 35-yard run, nearly went for a touchdown, was tripped up right near the goal line. But 98 rushing yards on 21 carries for Lennox Van. The team went 321 on 59 carries. So now let's see what they can do here on 4th down and 10. Lennox back to pass. A deep drop for Lennox. He'll throw it over the middle. He's got a man. It's caught, I believe, by Dub Chipman. It is, and it'll be 1st and goal inside the 10. So the Tigers retain possession here. They bring in Jacob Adams again. He's been subbing with Trace Metcalf. Get some extra oomph on that line. Lennox going to keep it. He gets inside the 5 and maybe down to the 4. Our depth perception is a little bit odd here at the stadium tonight as well, as the sidelines have a lot of extra room, as you probably noticed on your camera or on your screen. Also, the end zones have little to no extra room, as it's very unlike, especially Prairie Field, but a lot of high schools where the track is involved. So looking down there, I thought maybe he was already in the end zone, but he was only to the 5-yard line. Depth is, there's not a lot of room between the end line and the fence down there, the blue fence. Handoff to Colton Rogers. He's going to get a yard or 2, so it'll be 3rd and goal now for the Tigers. So they're down to the 2-yard line with that. 5:30 to go here in the first quarter. Again, thanks for joining us on Duckbait TV here on YouTube.com. Love to be able to bring you all the Tiger football action this season and nearly 20 Tiger volleyball matches. We've already had 3 of those. Lady Tigers, unfortunately, haven't won yet, but looking forward to the rest of the season for them. Here's the take by Lennox. He's going to get to the goal line, and they say he's in. Touchdown, Fort Scott Tigers. Touchdown, Lennox Band. So Lennox on to kick. The snapper this year, I don't know if I named him last week. Cannon Brown is the snapper for the Tigers this year. Holder is Colton Rogers, and of course Lennox the kicker. Lennox last week was, see if I can get it pulled up here. This kick, strong kick, but missed it off to the left just a little bit, so no good. And so it remains 6-0 in favor of the Tigers. Lennox was 2 for 3 on the PATs last week, and of course they had another attempt that there was a low snap, and so they didn't convert on that one either. But either way, the Tigers have the lead now 6-0 with 5:04 left to go in the first quarter. We'll try to get some scores as we go along here tonight, but in the SEK this evening, of course, Fort Scott here at Parsons, Chanute and Coffeyville are playing in Coffeyville. That's the first SEK League game of the season. Labette County travels to Winfield tonight, and Independence is at Mulvane. Some other scores from some area schools that might draw some interest. Pittsburgh is hosting Shawnee Mission South this week or this evening. Girard and Riverton will play a CNC League battle. The Colgan Frontenac rivalry is in week 2 this year, and that one's going on in Frontenac tonight. Galena is at Columbus. Baxter Springs is going across the Oklahoma line to Afton. Lewisburg and Paola will play each other in Paola. Of course, the Panthers looking to get off the or into the win column for the first time this year. Lewisburg, I believe I saw on Facebook today where they have a 20-some game league winning streak going. I'm sure they'll be ready to go with that game tonight against Paola. Parsons takes the kick right around the 20-yard line, and they'll get it up near across the 30, maybe the 32 is where they bring him down. Smart, Jason Smart, the returner that time. And Paola will take over at 4:57 left to go here in the first quarter. Again, Fort Scott leading it 6-0. Ball's going to be on the far, or well, actually it's going to be in the middle. I thought it was the far hash. Again, that depth perception messing with my eyes just a little bit. Starting quarterback is Trey Logan for Parsons. He's a 6', 180-pound senior. They're going to run a man in motion. Their very first play of the game last week against Labette County went for a touchdown. It was a passing play. This time they're going to run it with Chandler Hinson, and he's going to get maybe a yard to the right side. But their very first play last week, and I think it was to Nasser Haygood, one of their wide receivers, was a pass play near the down the near side, and he got behind the defensive back. It was lights out once he caught the ball. But that was their only scoring play in the first half last week as well. They're going to run 3 receivers in the formation, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far. Logan out of the shotgun, takes the snap, looks, little mini roll to the near side, and nice defense by the Tigers, as that was Morgan Shaw on the coverage, and it's incomplete, overthrown, intended for Haygood. So 4:17 to go here in the first quarter, and it's already 3rd down and 9 for Parsons on their first possession of the evening. Three receivers going to flood to the near side for Parsons. Throw it, and it's going to go incomplete. It's too high for Haygood, and goes out of bounds. So it'll be 4th down and 9. And now we'll see if they bring on Makai Ball to punt the ball away. It looks like maybe their punting unit will come in. He was their punter last week.
Number 1, Dub Chipman, back to return.
Dub Chipman back to nice kick. Going to bounce right at the 31. and rolls back to the 20, but Dub picks it up there and will take it out of bounds.
Good luck to the Parsons High School varsity volleyball team as they travel to Iowa tomorrow. First and 10 Tigers from their own 32-yard line.
So Fort Scott will have their second possession now. 4:04 left to go in the first quarter. Two receivers in the formation to the left side. And the handoff goes to Rogers. He'll work it around the left end and gets 2, maybe 3 on the play.
Brought down by number 88, Connor Margin.
Gain, we'll call it 2 here. So second down and 8 coming up for the Tigers. All just shy of the 35. Handoff goes to Colton again. And he'll get a couple more yards. It'll bring up second down and maybe about 6. Excuse me, that was Ryder Newton on the carry that time. So Ryder gets his first carry of the game.
Gain of 2, which brings up 3rd and 7 for the Tigers.
And some movement early there.
Receiver on the Tigers. Make it 3rd and 12.
So the penalty goes on Fort Scott. They were pretty clean last week as far as the penalties go. They had 3 offensive penalties for a total of 22 yards. They had 3 defensive penalties for a total of 13 yards. And those were the accepted ones. There were a couple of offsetting penalties right before the first half that resulted in a couple of ejections. But as I saw this week, that was not unusual for last week. There were 30 ejections in football games last Friday night across the state of Kansas. Here's a throw down the far sideline, and it's going to be incomplete, intended for Ty Marbury. And a little bit too long, so that's going to bring up 4th down and long here for the Tigers with 2:43 to go. And it looks like they will send their punting unit on. Rogers was the punter last week for Fort Scott. Looks like Lennox is going to go back in punting formation
Wyatt Schultz back to the Vikings.
tonight. And a high snap, but Lennox able to get it down and kicks it away. Wyatt Schultz back there to receive for Parsons. He'll pick it up, try to work it to the near side. He gets taken down. May have lost a couple of yards from where he picked the ball up.
Good luck to the Parsons High School C-team volleyball team as they travel to Pittsburgh tomorrow. Good luck to the rest of our fall teams and athletes this season. The Booster Club is set up under the stadium doing their membership drive. Stop by and see them. 1st and 10 Vikings.
Pass comes to the near side. Actually, the quarterback's going to keep it to the near side, and he's not going to get much at all. A good defense by the Tigers as Trey Logan will get tackled for a loss, I believe. Maybe they'll give it, well, they might give him the line of scrimmage here. It'll be second down and long. 2:08 to go here in the first quarter. Handoff goes to Hinson in the backfield. Actually, I believe that was DeMonte Kendrick this time. And he's going to get close to the first down. He needed the 44. He's going to get to the 43. So third down and a yard coming up. And Kendrick is a big dude. 5'10", listed at 5'10", 245. Senior for Parsons. Big kid. And he's hard to bring down. We saw that last week when he kind of got on a roll there in the second quarter against Labette County. Quarterback keeps it, and he's going to get pulled back at the line of scrimmage. Blow that whistle, guys. So it'll be fourth down. They're going to lose the yard officially on the play. So fourth down and 2. As we are now down to 47 seconds to go in so a fake punt will give the Vikings a first down, and they will keep the ball here. And will they run the first quarter clock out? We'll see. As there's only 10 seconds left on the clock, there's a 5-second difference between that and the game clock. They will, or play clock. They will run out the first quarter clock. So we'll be at the end of the first quarter here with your score. Fort Scott 6 and Parsons nothing. We'll take a short break and come back. This is Fort Scott Tiger football on Duckbait TV.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Jamie K. Armstrong. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by Ora et Labora Painting Company, LLC. If you need residential interior or exterior painting done or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Ora et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help you with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Our broadcast is also brought to you in part by Liberty Savings. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0.
So as we welcome you back, the start of the second quarter here tonight, Vikings will have the ball on the 45-yard line, first down and 10 after converting on a fourth down play. Here's a throw over the middle. It's incomplete. Not sure who the intended receiver was supposed to be on that one, as he had two receivers out in the formation on that side. And as the ball hit the ground, they kind of looked at each other as if to say, were you supposed to be getting it, or was I supposed to be getting it? So maybe some miscommunication on the Parsons side of the equation there. So that'll bring up second down and 10. Again, just underway here in the second quarter tonight. Now we'll roll to the right by Logan. He's got some room out here. He's going to get across the 50. He'll pick up the first down and go out of bounds near the 40. I think they're going to spot it in the at the 39 maybe. We'll see actually where they put it down, but it's going to be enough for a first down. So a first down for the Vikings here. Just inside the Fort Scott 40. Again, we do apologize. There's, 6 poles? 8 poles holding up the roof here. That's the overhang on the bleachers here at Parsons. And they're all way up at the front of the bleachers where they attach to the ground, so it's hard to get around those poles when we were setting things up. Hopefully it doesn't come into play too much here as we continue on. There's a delay of game penalty on the Vikings, so they'll push them back 5 yards. Stadium, I keep saying it's the fairgrounds. I don't think it actually is the fairgrounds. I think it's just the city park here in Parsons. But the stadium reminds me of the fairgrounds grandstand in Girard a little bit. The Crawford County Fairgrounds with the overhang and the poles and everything like that. So kind of have to work around that a little bit. Do apologize. Here's a handoff for Parsons. Goes to Hinson. He'll get a couple of those penalty yards back, but not much more than that. It'll be second down and long. Gain of maybe a yard, maybe half a yard. Second down and long here. Coming up on 11 minutes to play in the first half. Logan out of the shotgun. He'll throw it near side. It's got a man. It's caught there. And he slipped one tackle. Can't slip another, and actually got bounced backwards, so he is not going to get the first down. It'll be third down, third and short for Parsons, but still third down. Ball's going to be right around the 32, and they need to get just across the 30. So third down and a long 2 here for the Vikings. We got a whistle, and I think Parsons is going to take a timeout. So Coach Scheibe and the Vikings will take a timeout. This is a team that went 9-2 a year ago. Their only losses were a 10-8 loss to Frontenac. I believe that was in their district play. And then they lost to Topeka Hayden in the 3A quarterfinals, 64-19. So this is a team that had a very good year last year. Tough start to the season last week against Labette County, and now Fort Scott with a nice advantage here. We'll see if they can keep it. Third down and 2 coming up. Of course, Fort Scott, we got an even longer trek next week as we'll go down to Independence. And then back home for 2 weeks. September 27th, a big rivalry with those purple folks from Pittsburgh. That will be on September 27th, and on October 4th, it's homecoming against Labette County. Throw far side. It is caught out there, and he stood up, gets away from a guy, though, and will get the first down. He gets, I thought he was brought down for a moment, but he got another yard or two, Nasir Haygood. So he picks up the first down for the Vikings. So Parsons gets the first down there. as we dip under 10 minutes to play in this first half. Ball at the 21. Again, Logan sending a man in motion. Ball loose on the ground! I think Parsons got back on top of it. That was actually, and I think it's going to be an incomplete pass. Scheibe's coming onto the field saying that. I think it's right, because that's one of those Kansas City Chiefs plays where they run a guy in motion and the quarterback is behind him, so the ball is actually pitched forward. Well, they're going to call it a fumble. I think Scheibe was right. I think that probably should have been an incomplete pass. Because he pitched it forward. And the Parsons coach is not happy about that, but I think they're right. The Chiefs are the first team I've seen do that, and they did that a lot with Tyreek Hill, I remember. Run him in motion and then pitch it forward, so if it's dropped, it's not a fumble, it's an incomplete pass. And I think Fort Scott may have gotten away with one there. And the quarterback, he's down. He popped right back up, but his knee went down right around the 19-yard line. So it'll be third down now for the Vikings. I wonder how bad Coach Scheibe would have gone crazy if Fort Scott had recovered that and they'd given that incomplete pass to the Tigers on a fumble. 8:30 left to go here in the first half. Fort Scott still with a 6-0 lead. And again, they line the ball up right behind that post for us, so I do apologize for that. Here's a handoff going to Henson, and he's going to get a few yards forward, but he's going to not get the first down, so it'll be fourth down. The ball is right around the 15, and I think they've got to get to about the 13. They're going to call it the 16, so 4th and 3. Right? If they move the... We are at a tough angle here. Of course, that pole is right in the way, too. So they've got 4th and 4 up on the scoreboard. We'll take their word for it here. And now we got a whistle, and I think Fort Scott's jumped again. It's the second time on the Tigers, and that'll give them a first down because there's a 5-yard penalty on 4th and 4. Got to watch that ball, guys. 7:39 to go, and a first down on the penalty. They'll place it at about the 10.5. I think Parsons can get a touchdown without scoring, or a first down without scoring a touchdown. They have a quick slant there, and it was incomplete. I think that was intended for Wyatt Schultz. But that went into kind of no man's land. Fort Scott was probably the closest one to it there. Parsons last week against Labette County did throw an interception in the end zone. That stopped their first real drive of the game. Of course, they, like I said earlier, they scored a touchdown on the very first play of the game. It was a long pass play down the sideline to Nasser Haygood. But then they had some trouble moving the ball until late in that first half last week. But then right before halftime, they threw an interception in the end zone. And Labette County turned them away. Snap just in time before the play clock goes away. And now the run to the near side. Not a lot there. So it'll bring up third down. And again, third down, they can get a first down just inside the 1-yard line, I believe.
Chandler Henson on the carry.
The sticks are still up on the far side, in addition to the down marker. So we'll call it 3rd and 8 from the 9 for Parsons here, coming up on 7 minutes to play in the first half. Again, the Tigers still lead at 6-0. Fort Scott's only had 2 offensive possessions so far tonight. They took the first one down the field, took up most of the first quarter on that drive and scored. Their second drive went for a 3-and-out. Throw near side, it's complete, And he's going to be short of the end zone, but he may have the touchdown or the first down. Let's see. They're going to put him down at the 1. Let's see where he is in relation to the sticks on the far side.
Down to 1, yard line. We'll bring up first and goal for the Vikings.
So they will give him the first down. So first and goal for Parsons, right at the 1 yard line. And a touchdown. Looks like Demonte Kendrick, the one getting in there for the Vikings. So they will tie this game up now at 6 apiece. And they had 2 touchdowns last week against Labette County. They went for 2 both times. So I'd imagine they probably will do the same here against the Tigers. Looks like Trey Logan is back in there, quarterback. He will hand it off to the tailback, Hinson, and I don't think he got there. He didn't. So we're tied at 6 with 6:05 to go here in the second quarter. And Fort Scott will have the possession once again. And again, they have one really long touchdown drive and then also had to punt. But we'll see what they can do here on this next possession. We'll take a look at the SEK League standings coming into tonight. Again, nobody's played a league game so far, or nobody played a league game in week 1. There is a league game tonight, Chanute at Coffeyville, so we will have league standings updated as far as that goes next week for you. But Fort Scott, Chanute, and Labette County all 1-0. Coffeyville and Independence both lost last week, so they're 0-1. Only 6 teams in 4A East won last week. Labette, Fort Scott, Lansing, Chanute, Ottawa, and Lewisburg. They're the only 6 that won last week in 4A East. So everybody else 0-1. Includes Tonganoxie, Schlegel and Piper, both out of Kansas City, Paola, Eudora, Coffeyville, Bonner Springs, Bishop Miege, Sumner Academy, and Atchison all lost last week. And I think Lewisburg defeated Tonganoxie by 1 point. I didn't see a score from that game, but Lewisburg is 1-0, and they're 1 point on their average standings, and Tonganoxie is 0-1 and negative 1 point. So that must have been a heck of a ball game last week between Lewisburg and Tonganoxie. 6:05 left to go here in the first half. The Fort Scott Tigers about to get the ball back here. The kicker for Parsons is Corbin Harris, and he will kick it deep, and it's going to be taken by one of the up guys for the Tigers. That is Caden Cannon, and he will take it around the right side. Hold on to the ball there, Caden. He does, I believe, out near the 40-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. So Fort Scott with their 3rd possession now. They've had 1 touchdown and 1 punt. See what they can do here on this one with only 5:56 to go. Till halftime. Nice hold to the near side, and Shipman might be gone. 20, 10, touchdown, Fort Scott Tigers. Touchdown, Dub Chipman. So Fort Scott with a quick strike. They pitched the ball to Dub coming in motion to the near side. He got through the initial line of scrimmage and then was gone after that. Fort Scott takes the lead again. (12-6). And it looks like Fort Scott's going to come in and try for 2. They were 2 for 2 on 2-point conversions last week. Both were van passes to Dub Chipman. So we'll see what they do on this possession, on this try here. They're going to hand it off, and he's in there. Is that Dub again? I think it was. And the Tigers are now up 14-6 with 5:45 left to go in the second quarter. So Lennox to kick off here. And he will kick a line drive. That's going to get through the returner and into the end zone. So that'll go as a touchback for Lennox Van and the Tigers. So with 5:43, the Vikings will get the ball on their own 20-yard line. Still the 20 on touchbacks in high school. Don't see that very often in high school, a touchback. That one was not really a worm burner, but it was a line drive and got through the returner. I couldn't tell the number there, and into the end zone. And I believe, at least in Kansas, once the ball gets to the end zone on a kickoff, it's a dead ball. It's an automatic touchback. You cannot pick it up in the end zone and return it like you can in other levels of football. Pitch goes backwards. They're going to try a double pass near side, and it is incomplete, out of bounds. Nice defense there from Lennox Van coming up from his safety position. The pass was intended for Jason Smart on the near side. I think it probably would have been out of bounds regardless, but Lennox was able to time that up and got there and made the hit right as the ball got there and jarred it loose for an incompletion anyway. Second down and 10. Handoff goes to Henson, and he gets wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, so not much there. It'll be third down and 10 now. Third down and 10 coming up for Parsons. Play clock down to 15. Logan to get out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, throws it far side. It's caught. Oh, and a nice tackle, nice hit from Morgan Shaw. He read that perfectly, and the catch was not made. The ball was jarred loose. Morgan got there as the ball did and knocked it out of the hands of the intended receiver, and it'll be fourth down and 10. Couple of great defensive plays for the Tigers there, one by Lennox, one by Morgan. And Fort Scott, or Parsons, will be in punt formation. Now remember, they ran a fake, I believe it was. I think it was designed that way to pick up the first down last time. I don't know that they'd run it on 4th and 10 at their own 20, but we'll see. Kick very high. Nice hang time there. As Dirks Kegler will be back to return, and it takes a Parsons bounce. You let it go, and it takes a Parsons bounce to the Fort Scott 45. So that's where the Tigers will start this next possession with 4:39 to play in the first half. And here's a run for Fort Scott again, the right side. That'll be enough for a first down for Fort Scott.
Brady Messer on the carry.
And Brady Messer with a carry. He had a couple of carries last week for the Tigers. Actually just one for 7 yards. He's gotten a couple of targets here tonight. Picks up the first down on that one. First down and 10. Ball across the 45 of Parsons down to the 43. We'll send Brady in motion again. They fake the pitch to him this time. Lennox in a roll to his left. Throws it down the middle. And it's deflected. And is it intercepted? I think it is. That ball was deflected by one of the defensive backs. It was underthrown. I think he was intending to get that down the field deep to Trace Metcalf. It was underthrown because Lennox was rolling to his left and throwing across his body with a Parsons Viking in his lap. So it was underthrown just a hair, and one of the defensive backs in the middle of the field was able to jump up and get a hand on it, hit it backwards. Almost looked like one of the Tigers was going to get a hold of it, but knocked it up in the air, and Parsons ends up with the interception. Parsons will get it back with 3:57 to go. Fort Scott leading by 8 at 14-6. Now we got a whistle, and Coach Scheibe is going to take a timeout for the Parsons Vikings. Their second of the half. But he must not have been lined up correctly. And that happens on a quick change of possession like that. Somebody maybe doesn't get lined up exactly right. Maybe somebody didn't realize the ball was turned over. Maybe they're getting a drink of water or something like that. Run out there late. Either way, they call the timeout to talk about things here. Fort Scott's defense has played very well this season. Didn't allow a point in the first half last week. To Paola. The Panthers did come back in the second half of that game, but we got a whistle and a flag comes in. And false start's going to be on the Vikings here, so they'll push them back 5. So it'll be first down and 15. So now, after the turnover, they've had to use a timeout, and they get a false start, a pre-snap penalty. So I'm sure Coach Scheibe not happy at all with his guys on that exchange. First and 15 now. Two receivers to the near side for the Vikings. Quarterback out of the shotgun once again, Trey Logan. Fake the handoff, throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Trying to throw a slant route to Wyatt Schultz, and it was too far for him, incomplete. Almost looks like the Tiger defense is forcing Logan to rush just a little bit on those pass plays. So second down and 15, 3:53 to go here in the second quarter. This time a handoff. And the tailback, Kendrick, was going off the right, saw a hole back to the left and got a couple of yards, but didn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage on that play at least. Third down, we'll call it 11 for the Vikings. Ball on the 21. Back to pass. You got a man open down the left side. It is caught. It'll be a first down. He shakes one tackler, lost the ball, but gets it back. Still up on his feet. Fort Scott finally gets the receiver down. I believe that was Jason Smart. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Tough luck there for the Tigers, as Smart got behind his cornerback, and then Lennox Van couldn't quite get over in time to knock the ball out of his hands. He did look like he dropped it after he caught it and took a couple of steps and then tried to make a cutback and then dropped the ball, but picked it back up. And he got taken down right at the 46 on Fort Scott's side of the football field. And they're going to get an illegal formation on the receiver on the near side. He was in the neutral zone. And boy, Chiefs fans know that call with pain in their heart. The ball was spotted at the 46, but the receiver on the near side, I believe it was Haygood, lined up at the 45. One of those rare offsides on the offense. So 1st and 15 again for Parsons. Handoff. Oh, he is swallowed up. Kendrick again, and he gets taken down by the Tiger defense. I believe that was Jaden Garcia in there on the tackle that time. And another loss on the play. It'll be 2nd down and long for the Vikings. Coming up on 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Two receivers to the near side for the Vikings. And they'll pitch it forward to the man. So, again, that's a pass play. Oh, and that's a horse collar tackle on the Tigers. So, unfortunately, I think that was Ryder Newton just got his hands in the wrong spot that time. You know, Ryder's not out there, so that was somebody else. But made a dive for the ball carrier. It just got in the wrong spot at the wrong time. So personal foul should be an automatic first down. And I think it's a 15-yard penalty as well. So they're going to put it all the way down into Fort Scott territory here. Place it at the 34-yard line of the Tigers. 1:38 left to go here in the first half. Fort Scott leading 14-6. Trying to hold on to this lead as they go to halftime. Of course, Parsons will get the ball to start the second half, or at least have that option, as the Tigers took the ball to start the game. And another pitch forward to the tight end. And he's going to get another first down. Again, I think that's a forward pass to Connor Largent. A little bit of trickery here on this possession for the Vikings. And they've got the ball all the way down to the Tiger 23-yard line, it looks like. First down and 10, coming up on a minute to go. And again, they only have one timeout to go, and they're huddling. They break the huddle with just under a minute left. Fort Scott needs to stand strong. Handoff goes to the tailback. He got crunched at the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Hinson that time. So Chandler Hinson and DeMonte Kendrick have both been in the backfield for Parsons tonight. And the clock continues to roll. Again, they only have one timeout remaining, and they're huddling. It's down to 29 seconds. Fort Scott may only have to play defense one or two more plays here. Pass. They're looking far side. Got a man down there. It's caught and incomplete, out of bounds. Oh, no, incomplete. Yeah, the official said incomplete. The official right on that far sideline said incomplete. And the PA announcer hasn't seen that yet.
Correction, pass incomplete.
Get that corrected now. But anyway, 12 and a half seconds to go. I don't know that he dropped it. I think he was called out of bounds on that far sideline. So 12 seconds left here in the first half. This may be the final play. Of course, Parsons does have one timeout left. They have not used it yet. Let's see what they do here. Put a man in motion. Now another man coming in motion. Throw a pass over the middle, and it is incomplete. Tried that slant many times tonight. It hasn't worked out yet. That time they were trying to get it to Hinson, and he dropped it. He had it in his hands, but dropped it. So now 8 seconds left. Fourth down. And again, they can get a first down without scoring here. The ball is back at the 23-yard line, so they can get inside the 15 and get a first down. And, of course, the clock will stop on first down. And, again, Parsons still with one timeout left. And, again, we do apologize for that pole being in the way, but throw to the far side, and it is intercepted! Along the far sideline. I can't tell who it is, but Fort Scott comes back with the ball. The clock runs out. That'll take us to the end of the first half. What a play by the Tigers to finish off this first half against Parsons. So your score at halftime, Fort Scott 14 and the Parsons Vikings 6. We'll take a break and come back shortly. This is Tiger football on Fort Scott. Again, this is Tiger football on Duckbait TV. Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll be back in just a few moments. Hi, everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. I am Tony Abatey back in Tigerville, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV. Hi, everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you. What a play by Fort Scott as they jumpstart their team with a big interception by Ty Marbury. Oh, my goodness, he got rocked. On dig that time. We'll go right back to the far side. A little drop shot that time from Stewart, and that one will fall. It's in there! Abby Gorman, her third three-pointer of the night, and the Lady Tigers back out by 4. We'll kick it out to Spencer into the corner to Dub. Three-pointer. Got it! Bang! 1991! 1996! 2004 and now 2024. The Fort Scott Tigers and Lady Tigers will both be at the state tournament in Salida next week.
Your Parsons High School Dustmakers. The PHS Marching Vikings are proud to present this year's halftime show. They will perform Firework by Katy Perry and will feature the Viking dance and color guard with the song Get Ready by the Temptations. The band is under the direction of Alejandro Cornelio, and the Viking dance and color guard is under the direction of Brianna Ford. We hope you enjoy it.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Jamie K. Armstrong. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. If you need residential interior or exterior painting done or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help you with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Our broadcast is also brought to you in part by Liberty Savings. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. And if you're interested in helping us out at Duckbait Media, bringing more Tiger and Greyhound athletic events, become a sponsor today. Contact us at tonyabaty@gmail.com, duckbaitmedia@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/duckbaitmedia.
Well, welcome back as we are at halftime of this one here tonight. The Fort Scott Tigers leading the Parsons Vikings 14-6 here at the brink. A nice interception there to close out the first half for the Tiger defense. Parsons should be getting the ball to start this second half as well. So that stop on defense was very important for the Tigers. As on this possession, of course, Parsons can only get back and tie the game with this possession if they were to score. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully Fort Scott can force a quick turnover of the ball and get things back and get a little bit more breathing room against this Parsons Viking team here. Fort Scott took the first possession of the game. They started with the ball and they took it right down the field. Took about 6 minutes off the clock and scored a touchdown. Lennox Fan got in the end zone for the Tigers on that first possession. They missed the extra point, so they were leading 6-0 at that point. Parsons got the ball on their first possession, had to punt. Fort Scott got it back, and they themselves had to punt on that next possession. Parsons is able to get a score right towards the beginning of the second quarter. But they also missed their two-point conversion. Fort Scott missed a kick, but they missed a two-point conversion. And so it was tied at 6 there. Fort Scott got the ball back. And the first play from scrimmage, Dub Chipman got an end around, broke a couple of tackles, and was gone for a huge touchdown for the Tigers. Dub then converted on the two-point conversion, and that's where we stand right now, 14-6. Parsons had a great opportunity to score on their final drive of the first half. They got the ball deep down into Fort Scott territory. But the Tigers turned them away with an interception and run it back near midfield before they were taken down. So ran out the clock, and Fort Scott has the lead here at the break with the score 14-6. Again, thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV. We'll see if we can get some scores from some of the area games going on here tonight. We'll see what our app gives us here this evening. Looks like at last update, Girard was leading Riverton 7-0. That game in the first quarter. Galena and Columbus playing in Columbus tonight. There's no update on that one just yet. Erie and Caney Valley also early on in that one. Webb City playing Kickapoo this evening, and they're leading one of the biggest schools in Springfield, 21-19 in the second quarter. I bring that up just mainly because Fort Scott fans or folks might remember Kickapoo. It was our last year in almost said Winfield. It wasn't Winfield. But our last year in that opening tournament down just north of Springfield. Played Kickapoo in the first round of that basketball tournament. Did not go well for the Tigers, unfortunately. Kickapoo is again, one of the biggest schools in the state of Missouri. But, of course, Webb City, obviously, with a great program, and they've got the lead there. Crest and Northeast, that's an 8-man game. Northeast out of Arma has dropped to 8-man this year. That game going on in Arma tonight. No score in the first quarter of that one is our last update. Frontenac leading Colgan. That game in the second quarter, we've got a 7-0 score on that one. Eureka, this is an odd football score. Eureka leading Fredonia. I'm sure they got a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But Eureka is leading Fredonia at the half, 8-2. Baxter Springs, we mentioned they went to Afton, Oklahoma tonight. They've got the lead in the second quarter, 7-0 there. Independence trails Mulvane 21-6 in the first quarter of that game. At halftime, Humboldt leading Cherryvale 44-0. Humboldt's had a really good program in 3A for several years now. They may be 2A, actually. Either way, Humboldt has had a very good program for many years now. We've got a good lead on Cherryvale at the break in that one. Coffeyville and Chanute playing the first SEK League game of the season. And Chanute leading that one in the first quarter, 7-0. Down at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Coffeyville. Wellsville leading Iola 27-0 at the break in that game. St. Paul playing Oswego. That's another 8-man game in St. Paul this weekend, or this evening. That game, no score in the first quarter. Pittsburgh trails Shawnee Mission South 16-7. That one at the half. Southeast out of Cherokee, they're hosting Diamond out of Missouri tonight. Altoona Midway is hosting Burton this evening. That one another 8-man. Actually, that might be a 6-man game. And at the break tonight, Winfield leading Labette County 38-15. At least that's what my app is telling me. A little bit surprised with that. Winfield has had some down years recently. They got a big victory over Ark City last week, so Winfield may be turning some things around. Labette County, as we mentioned, had a big win over Parsons last Friday. They had some big plays in that game that helped them out. So even though the final score was 42-14, that really wasn't, at least in my opinion, a 42-14 kind of game. But Labette County is going to be better than they have been. At least that's the general consensus around the SEK for this season. And they're taking it on the chin at the break from Winfield. Of course, Winfield's all the way out near Wichita, so it's a long way to go. Some deep travel, some long travel there for the Grizzlies anyway, and we're just about ready to get the third quarter underway tonight. Van to kick off. Another line drive kick. This one end over end. Going to be picked up near the 14-yard line. Brings it near side, taken down. Jason Smart on the carry. I believe that was Paxton Allen on the tackle there for the Tigers. And Parsons will start with the ball on their own 28. First down and 10. Just underway here in the second half. Logan with the snap. He'll sling it out to the left side. And his receiver makes the catch and takes it down the field. I believe that was Smart again. So Jason Smart with the reception, a pickup of 8 or so, maybe 9 on the play. It'll be second down and short. Two receivers to the near side, one to the far side for the Vikings as they go left to right across your screen here in the third quarter. Quarterback's going to keep it, and he gets swallowed up again by the Tiger defense. Did the ball come out? Coach Clement, is it Coach Clements? Coach Messer, one of the coaches for the Tigers on the far sideline, was going nuts. And now they got a near official coming in. They may be discussing this. I couldn't quite tell from our vantage point up here. But the Tigers sure thought there was a fumble, and they recovered it, at least the sideline anyway. As it stands right now, it's a loss on the play for Parsons back to about the 35. So if they keep it that way, it'll be Parsons football. And third down and about 3.5 or so. Now the White Hats coming over. Oh, they're going to get a chop block called on Parsons. And one of the linemen looks over to his coaches and pats his chest. Maybe that's what the Tiger coaches were hollering about over there. The penalty will push Parsons all the way back. Still second down, but now they have the ball at their own 22, and it'll be second down and very long here for the Vikings, about 16. Back to pass. Screen play. It's caught and swallowed. Oh, they didn't wrap him up. Oh, they blew it dead. Oh, my goodness. Fort Scott had the receiver, Hinson, wrapped up in the backfield after the reception on the screen play, and the officials blew the whistle. Maybe the quickest whistle we've seen all year. Last week they let some plays go. Different crew, but let some plays go. Earlier in this game, it appeared that they let a couple of plays go. That one they did not let go, and the Tigers are going to benefit on it. Third down and long now. Lost even a couple more yards on that play. Third down and about 18. Ball right around the 20. You need to get out to the 38. Back to pass, throws it near side. That one is incomplete, another drop. Pass intended for Haygood. And now he turns around to his quarterback and is yelling something at him. Seems to me Haygood didn't think that Logan let him enough. Either way, Fort Scott has forced another punt here from Parsons. 9:57 to go in the third quarter. And the Tigers send Dub Chipman back to receive this kick. It is away, and it is taken right around the 50. Nice head of steam there. I believe that was Dub that got the kick receiving there. And he got a head of steam forward, but got taken down fairly quickly. Fort Scott will start with the ball on the Parsons side of the field here. With 9:48 to go in the third quarter. Fort Scott on the Viking 42-yard line. Messer in motion. And Van kept the ball and gets taken down for a loss. So about 5 or so on the play. So second down, and we'll call it 15. Ball back at the 48 of Parsons now. And again, the Tigers have to get down to the 32. Actually, we'll say second and 17. Dub comes in motion to the near side, gets the pitch, got a great block from Marbury, and he's going to get near the first down. I don't think he got all the yardage he needed there for to move the sticks, but he got a huge gain. It'll bring up third down and about a yard. That's the same play, or at least a similar play to what Dub was able to score the second touchdown on for the Tigers here tonight. It's now third down and 1. 16 yards on that previous play. Third and 1 coming up. Lennox going to keep it off to the left side. He gets through a hole and gets the first down. He'll get down close to the 25. Scott would love any way they can to end this drive with points. But you also want to run a little bit of clock time here, give your defense a chance to continue to rest. They had a long drive, much longer drive for Parsons there right before the half than any drive Paola had a week ago. Lennox now pitches it out to Shaw on the right side. Shaw gets around the first guy, can't make the second guy miss, gets taken down, and it will be a gain of maybe 1 or 2. We got a flag that came in late, it looked like, as well, and a Viking is down at the 20-yard line, slow to get up. He's got some teammates around him. I think, by the looks, it's just a cramp, but we'll see on that. We'll see what the flag is for as well. Don't know that. And they are going to call holding on the Tigers here, so that'll push them back, unfortunately, with 8:31 to go in the third quarter. Looks like they're stretching out the Viking player's leg there, which would be an indication, most likely, of a cramp. Again, in the next week, the Tigers travel to Independence. We'll have that one for you here on Duckbait TV as well. And then following that, 2 straight home games. September 27th at home against the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons. And then October 4th will be the homecoming game for the Tigers as they will host Labette County. Football season always seems to move pretty quickly once you get started. We're week 2 of 8. Of course, week 9 in 4A is always a playoff game for everybody, as everybody makes the playoffs in 4A. Not the case for 3A and 2A. Parsons solidly in 3A now in football. And you hope that's a cramp. Maybe it's not. As that is Jason Smart getting helped off the field for Parsons. Hopefully he is okay.
Let's hear it for Jason Smart.
So 8:31 left to go here in the third quarter. Fort Scott with the football. And nearly a jump there by Parsons. Fort Scott puts man in motion. Sends him back. Now they'll send Brady Messer again. Hand it off up the middle, and not much there for the Tigers. It'll be second down.
Colton Rogers on the carry.
After Colton Rogers gets one, maybe two on the play. So it's second down and long for the Tigers. And they've got to get it all the way down to, what, the 16, it looks like? So we'll call it second down and 19. Ball right at the 35. Lennox Van pitches it near side to Dub Chipman, who's back in there. He'll make a couple of guys miss and gets the penalty yardage back. He's near the original line of scrimmage. It'll make it third down and much more manageable for the Tigers here. We'll place that right at the 27, so we'll call it third and 11 now for the Tigers. Lennox jogging over to Coach Bo Graham to get the play here. See what the Tigers pull together here for third down and 11. They'll have one man in the formation on the right side. That's Trace Metcalf. Come back with Shaw Messer. It looks like Rogers in the backfield. He'll pitch it to Shaw to the right side. He'll make a cut back up the field. He does not get the first down, but he got a decent chunk of yardage on the play. They'll be right around the 20, so it'll be fourth down and about 5. I imagine the Tigers will go for it here, with the ball on the 20-yard line of Parsons. They need to get to the 16, so it's fourth and 4. We'll bring Ty Marbury into the game now. Look for him on this near side, and now the Tigers are going to take a timeout. And let the game clock run all the way down. And the Tigers take the timeout. 6:17 to go here in the third quarter. Good news out of Kansas City, it looks like, as the Royals defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. 8-3 the final score there. That one in Pittsburgh. So fourth down and 4 coming up for the Tigers. 6:17 to go here out of the timeout. Van keeps the ball around the right side. He will go forward, and I believe he's got the first down. He's going to be close to it. We'll see where they mark it. He needed 4. I think they're going to give him 5. First down and 10, Fort Scott. Ball right at the 15-yard line. .606 to go and counting now for the Tigers here. in the third quarter. Fort Scott, as I mentioned, would love to finish this drive with points. Hopefully a touchdown, but also want to see that clock roll some more. They held the ball for 33 minutes last week against Paola. Here's a handoff. I think that was Dub once again. He's going to get a few yards. We'll call it second down and 6 now for the Tigers. Ball on the 11. Lennox runs in with the play. You've got a heavy stack in the backfield now. Turn around, hand it off to Ryder Newton. He gets across the 10, inside the 10, down to about the 7. Not quite a first down, but a nice carry by Ryder Newton. And that will make it third down and short for the Tigers. They had Ryder, Colton, and Dub all lined up in the backfield that time. Looks like they're going to have the same formation here. And handoff, it goes to Colton Rogers, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Fort Scott Tigers. Touchdown, Colton Rogers. .4:18 to go, and we'll see if Fort Scott tries to kick it here or if they will go for 2. I think they're going to try to go for 2. So the offense back on the field. They currently lead this game by 14. So they go for 2 and make it. They would force Parsons to have to go for 2 and make it on 2 straight carries, or 2 straight touchdowns. And the carry to the near side by Lennox, a naked boot, and it worked perfectly. So the 2-point conversion works for the Tigers. They now lead it by 16 points. With 4:18 to go in the third. So thanks again for joining us here on Duckbait TV. I just got a message. We've got about 130 folks watching us here tonight. So thanks to everybody out there watching us on Duckbait TV. This has been a pleasure for my wife and I to bring you these sporting events, these games as we've gone along. As we said, we're going to have more volleyball for you this season. We'll go down to Pittsburgh on Tuesday as the Lady Tigers take on Pittsburgh and Labette County in their first SEK League matches of the season. So excited to get on the road. We were able to do some volleyball last year, but didn't go on the road until Sub-State. So excited to get on the road for some SEK League matches this year. And, of course, all the football games for you here on Duckbait TV. So looking forward to that. And the Fort Scott Tigers now leading this one 22-6 with 4:18 left in the third quarter. Lennox Van to kick off again. Again, really just one sustained drive for actually 2. They were able to score on 1, and then the Tigers got an interception right before half to finish the other one. That went off of an up man of Parsons, goes on a wild bounce to the left side, picked up by the Vikings, and they'll get it up to the 40 before they are slung down. I believe that was Wyatt Schultz on the return. I don't know that Lennox was trying to do that, but he hit the guy in the middle of the front line there for the Vikings and kind of knocked the kid over as the ball bounced off of him, and it kind of took a while. Those are ones that kind of make you gasp a little bit because sometimes the recovery or the kicking team can get a little out of their lanes when the ball goes in an odd direction like that, but Fort Scott able to cover it nicely. 1st and 10, Parsons. Ball on the 38, and now the Vikings going to take a timeout.
Timeout Vikings.
So they are down. Actually, that was their first timeout of the second half here. So again, the Tigers leading this one by 16 points, 22-6, and the significance of that means that the Vikings would have to score 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions going forward in this one without Fort Scott scoring again just to tie this game up. So that gives Fort Scott some flexibility on defense and offense to kind of come after Parsons a little bit more if they want to do that. 4:08 left to go here in the third quarter.
First and 10 Vikings.
Handoff. Goes to the tailback. Nice gain on the play that time for Parsons. Going to get it out across the 45. There's Chandler Henson. Again, Henson and DeMonte Kendrick have kind of split the time in the backfield for the Vikings this week.
Tackle by number 52, Wesley Cox. Gain of 7 on the play, brings up 2nd and 3 for the Vikings.
Wesley Cox with the tackle that time for Fort Scott. So second down, and we'll call it 3 here. Just under 3.5 to go in the third. They'll pitch it to Henson, the left side. Fort Scott able to read that one perfectly. Maybe lost a yard on the play. So it'll bring up third down and about 4. They'll place it back at the 45. Now we'll call it 3 again. Third down and 3. You got to get the ball to about the 48, maybe just past the 48. And looks like Henson coming out as DeMonte Kendrick back onto the field for Parsons. Those two played quite a bit together last week against Labette County. Kind of splitting time here tonight. Handoff goes to Kendrick, and I think he got the first down. We'll see where they mark it. He may be just short, but we'll see. As the clock continues to roll, they will stop the clock. Will they measure?
Tackle by Caden Gannon
And they will not.
and Wesley Cox. That run's good for a Vikings first down.
Tell you what, the crews just in general, and I don't know if they're being told to do this, if it maybe they think it takes too much time. They just don't seem to want to measure for first downs as much as they used to. Used to be almost every play that was kind of close, you would measure for it. But now, and I realize it takes some time to get those chains out there and untangled and everything like that, but goodness, it's not going to matter a whole lot there as the Tigers get into the backfield. Nice tackle by J.C. Gross.
Jason Smart on the carry.
He was one of the leading tacklers last week for the Tigers. Had 6. He and Brody Gomez both had 6 tackles last week against Paola to lead the Tigers in that category. Lennox and Luke Harris both had 5 last week as well. So now we got an injured Viking once again. 1:51 left to go here in the third quarter. And we haven't seen, I think we saw maybe one cramping issue last week. If this is a cramp, maybe the second one. And hopefully that's all that is for Parsons here. But it has been unseasonably cool these first 2 weeks of the year here in Kansas, which, again, we're not complaining about at all. It's been nice. But usually we see the hydration be an issue this early in the season and just haven't seen that so far this year. Hopefully that's been the case at the practice field and things like that during the week as well. And hopefully, this may be smart again. It is. So he was able to get loosened up and get back out there, but he is now tightened up again. They'll have to walk him off the field with some assistance once again. So tough to see. Hopefully he's okay. Obviously got loosened up enough to get back out there, but he's tightened up again on that right side, that right leg it looks like. So 2nd down and 16 for Parsons here. Ball just shy of the 45. Back to pass, they'll throw a screen, and it's incomplete, knocked away. Looked like Cox on the coverage there for the Tigers. That was intended for DeMonte Kendrick. So now 3rd and 16 with 1:40 to play in the third quarter. Tigers leading by 16 points. Again, as far as the 4A East standings go, your first objective is to win. Your second objective is to win by at least 13. That's where they cap it, and Fort Scott's at both of those points right now. Hopefully we can keep it going. Here's a pass over the middle. It's caught by the tight end. He's going to get close to the first down. We'll see where they mark it. He may have gotten it. Pass to Connor Largent, and they finally hit on one. I think they're going to give him the first down by about a yard. Ty Marbury with the tackle from the secondary. So Parsons gets the first down again. And they're going to pitch it forward. That's to the tight end once again, Largent. Again, that is technically a pass. They dropped one of those earlier, and the officials counted it as a fumble, but that is technically a pass when the ball goes forward like that, so another reception. But this one for a loss of a yard or two, so 2nd down and 12 as we dip under 40 seconds to play here in the third quarter. And that's the advantage of running that little pitch forward. If it's dropped, it should be an incomplete pass and not a fumble. Pass deflected and, nearly intercepted. Brody Gomez had a chance as that was deflected near the line of scrimmage and took an arc. Brody Gomez almost got a hand on it, but it's incomplete. 3rd down and 12. Couldn't tell it was one of the linemen or one of the linebackers for Fort Scott that got a hand on it initially and made that ball jump up a little bit. Thought Brody was going to be able to jump up in the sky and snatch that one away, but goes incomplete. 22 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Logan again out of the shotgun. We've got 2 receivers to the left, a tight end heavy on the right side. Logan keeps the ball. He'll run to his left, gets hit right near this line of scrimmage and taken down. Brody in there on that one too? I think he was. Clock rolling, and that will run out the clock here in the third quarter. So it'll be a 4th down coming up for the Vikings when we start the fourth quarter in just a few moments. This is Tiger Football on Duckbait TV.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Jamie K. Armstrong. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by Ora et Labora Painting Company, LLC. If you need residential interior or exterior painting done, or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Ora et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help you with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Our broadcast is also brought to you in part by Liberty Savings. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. And if you're interested in helping us out at Duckbait Media, bringing more Tiger and Greyhound athletic events, become a sponsor today. Contact us at tonyabady@gmail.com, duckbaitmedia@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/duckbaitmedia.
So just about ready to get this fourth quarter underway here. Parsons has a fourth down. We'll call it about 8. They've got the ball on the Fort Scott 40. They need to get down to the 32. Quarterback drops, throws it near side. Incomplete. Fort Scott takes over on downs. Now the Tigers need one of their patented Fort Scott Tiger drives here. They take over at the 40-yard line with 11:56 to play here in the fourth quarter, leading by 16. Lennox back under center. He'll keep it around the left side. Pitch late, and it's on loose on the field. And did Parsons get it? They did.
Recovered by the Vikings. Connor Larson.
So another quick change of possession right back to Parsons. They'll take over at the 37-yard line with 11:48 to play. I believe is the first turnover of the year for the Tigers. Want to give a team as talented as Parsons any kind of momentum at this point in the game. First play is a run right up the middle. Henson with the carry, but he didn't get anything on it. It'll be second down and 10. And they'll throw it near side on a screen play. It's caught there, nearly held up, but they're going to get him and take him down out of bounds. That was Nasir Haygood on the reception. I believe Brody Gomez got the tackle that time for Fort Scott. They took him out of bounds, so it'll stop the clock with 10:51 to go. Ball will be placed at the 35, it looks like. And now do we have... Haygood well, I can't tell who it is. I think it's Haygood because that's about where he ended up. He's still on the ground over here. So they will tend to hit here on the sideline. He is off the playing surface, but they are going to take an injury timeout here to tend to Haygood. Probably a good decision there. Give the Vikings enough time to kind of get the folks over there that need to be to take care of the injured Viking. And again, I can't tell the number. I'm assuming it's Haygood because that's about where he landed out of bounds, but I can't tell for sure. 10:51 left to go here in the fourth quarter. See if we'll check some scores again. If you're a Royals fan, Kansas City got a big win against Pittsburgh tonight. As they've got a series against the Pirates this weekend. Now it looks like we're ready to go again. Chiefs, of course, play the Bengals on Sunday. Now we got jumping. Who jumped first? Wesley Cox was the one jumping on the Tigers side, but they're going to give the penalty to Xander Gabbert of Parsons as he jumped as well. So a 5-yard penalty. We'll put it back at the 40. And we'll call it third down and about 13 here for the Vikings. Fort Scott needs to stand up big on this possession here. 10:51 to go. Ball on the 40, 2 receivers near side. They're going to fake a handoff, throws it over the middle. It's complete. A big gain right down the middle of the field. Braden Largent with the catch. And that is a Parsons first down all the way down to the 16 of Fort Scott. So the Tigers trying to guard that edge. And Parsons went right down the seam and picked up the first down. So first and 10 from the 16. 10:30 left to go in the fourth quarter. Parsons will hand it off to Henson, and he got a couple of yards, but not much. It'll be second down and long. Again, the Tigers still lead by 16 points, so that means Parsons needs 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions just to tie in this game. But they still have 10 minutes left to do it. And they are taking their time getting plays in. They've got big playability, though, so they're probably not too worried, at least at this point, about how much time is left. Throw towards the corner of the end zone. It's deflected up in the air and nearly intercepted. It lands incomplete. Brody Gomez was there on defense for the Tigers. Actually, I believe that was Caden Cannon, number 2, not number 4. Well, maybe it was Brody. They announced Brody on the PA. Either way, it's an incomplete pass. Third down and 6. 9:38 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. Logan takes the snap, fakes the handoff, pump fakes, now throws to the far side. It's going to be incomplete. He had a couple of Tigers in his lap. And it'll be fourth down and 6 now. Now Logan a little bit slow getting up and getting to the sideline to get the next play for the Vikings. So fourth down and 6, and we got a timeout on the field. I think Parsons is going to be calling the timeout here. So they'll take the timeout to discuss it. Probably called something and see what Fort Scott would come out with defensively. So again, 4th down and 6. Ball is at the 13-yard line of Fort Scott for Parsons. 9:32 left to go in regulation time. Parsons has 2 drives already this game. This deep into Tiger territory. One resulted in a touchdown. The other one was right before halftime and ended up resulting in a Fort Scott interception. So out of the timeout, 3 receivers to the far side for Parsons. The quarterback Logan in the backfield, or in the shotgun with Hinson next to him. Back to pass. Nice! Wrapped up, and they'll take him down. Ryder Newton, the first Tiger to get there. He had to get a little bit of help, but it is a turnover on downs, and the Tigers take over with 9:25 to go in the game. And again, with the turnover on downs, the Tigers still lead this one by 16 points. Two possessions, but it could become a three-possession game pretty quickly if you miss one of the 2-point conversions. Handoff goes up the middle. Maybe Fort Scott can make it a 3-possession game on their own as Colton Rogers runs it for 9 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 1 as they get out across the 30-yard line on their own side of the field. Handoff. And it'll be a 1st down for the Tigers. Ball out near the 39. So a good gain there for Fort Scott. That'll keep the clock rolling here. 8:30 to go and counting.
Plays good for a Tiger 1st down.
Another run right up the middle for Fort Scott. Looked like Lennox on the keeper that time. Pickup of about 4. 2nd down, but the most important thing right now for the Tigers is that clock keeps rolling. Under 8 minutes to play now. Oh, handoff. That looks like Gomez out there to the far side. He's going to get down the field for a 1st down. It was Brody getting some time in the backfield here. He picks up the 1st down. Fort Scott also has Cannon Brown out there right now. So some of those backups getting some work now for the Tigers. Cannon Brown, backup receiver on the near side of the formation. Lennox going to keep the ball himself. Goes right up the middle, gets taken down from behind, but a nice gain on the play. It's going to be close to another Tiger 1st down. 6:42 to play and counting. So 2nd down, we'll call it 2. Right about the 37. Handoff goes to Newton. He'll go right through the line and pick up that first down. Inside the 30, down to about the 29. Handoff to Newton again, left side of the line, and he's going to get another big gain on first down for the Tigers. Coming up on 5.5 minutes to play in this one. Fort Scott trying to salt away win number 2.
Rogers with the carry.
Second down, we'll call it 3 after a gain of 7 for Ryder Newton. Yeah, I think that's Ryder again. Still moving forward. He'll be taken down right around the 15, but again, another first down for the Tigers. 4:53 remaining. The clock will stop until they get the change reset. And now Newton gets a hand as he will come out for a breather, and Colton Rogers back on the field for the Tigers. Ball comes to the near side. I think that's Brady Messer with the carry again. Yeah, back to the line of scrimmage, but I believe that's about it. So second down and about 10 here for Fort Scott. Clock, you kind of see it there at the top of your screen in the end zone as it rolls down towards 4 minutes to play. Gomez goes in motion. Lennox is going to keep it. Gets taken down by one of the defensive linemen for Parsons. He's got some strong hands. That was Lee Quincy on the tackle. He reached out, got a handful of Lennox's jersey, and pulled him down from behind. He got right, looked like he got right in that number 6, so it wasn't a horse collar or anything like that. Now we got a whistle here, and Parsons going to take a timeout. So they will be down to 1 remaining. Actually, no, I believe that's their final timeout. Check and see with the board here, but I think that'll be their final timeout tonight. So 3:10 to go. And again, the Tigers have a pretty good shot right now as they lead it by 16, but if they could stick this one in the end zone, that would pretty much seal the deal, I would think, for Fort Scott. You're up by 16. You almost can say you're ahead by 2.5 possessions. Because if a team scores and then misses the 2-point conversion on that first touchdown, they're going to have the ball twice, 2 more times again anyway. So Fort Scott is in a very good position. And now coming out of the timeout, we'll see what they do offensively here. Pitch comes to Gomez around the left side. He makes one man miss, gets taken down near the first down marker. He may have he was shoved out of bounds. So that should stop the clock as well. It's going to be close to a first down, but not quite enough. First and or for the Tigers here. Fourth down, we'll call it 3. Just under 3 minutes to play. Fort Scott's going to let this clock run down, and they may let the play clock run all the way down and call it a timeout. They've got 2 left. Oh, they're going to try to run it quickly, and nope, they do get the timeout. They tried to run up to the line quickly and snap it at the last second, but they couldn't get lined up quite quickly enough. So they'll call the timeout. 2:28 left to go. And again, the Tigers, if they're in pretty good shape at the moment, but if they could score again, they'll be in really good shape here. Never like to say it's over before it's actually over, but Fort Scott is in a really good spot right now.
They are still selling the blackout t-shirts for next week's game downstairs under the stadium. Get your shirts for next week's game under the stadium.
So out of the timeout, Fort Scott brings the offense back to the line of scrimmage. They'll send Messer in motion. Lennox keeps it to the right side, and now we'll see where they mark it. He needed to get close to the 5.
Lennox band on the quarterback keeper.
And again, they don't measure, but they do say it's a turnover. So he needed about 3, got about 2.5, and it'll turn over on downs. Again, 2:21 left to go. But again, the Tigers lead by 16. So again, that means Parsons has to score 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. It's not an or kind of thing. They got to have all of it. And they can score quickly. We saw that last week against Labette County. They scored on the very first play of the game. And they'll take it here on a run right up the middle. Henson with the carry, and he's going to get a big gain for a first down. He'll get out near the 20. Looks like they're going to place that at the 19. First down and 10 for the Vikings. Handoff goes to Henson this time. Bounced off one tackler, but does get taken down. Gain of about 6. Luke Harris on the stop for the tackle, or for the Tigers. Saw Colton Rogers on the bottom of the pile as well. In a minute 20 to go. You would think Parsons would be moving a little bit quicker at this point than they are, but they'll throw it to the near side. Little bubble pass. It's caught. We'll get out of bounds. Pass complete to Wyatt Schultz. And it's enough for a first down, and he got out of bounds. But again, they are taking a lot of time. So there's only a minute 6 to play here, and they got to score twice. At least twice. Logan out of the shotgun again. He's got Henson with him back there this time. Going to fake the pass to Henson. He nearly got taken down by Cox, and now will get shoved out of bounds. So no gain on the play, second down and 10, 56 seconds left to go. And again, Parsons, no timeouts. So they're working against the Tigers and the clock at this point. In a situation now where they need to get this first touchdown quick and then get a 2-point or an onside kick. And now we got a whistle here and a delay of game. So Parsons taking too much time again. Second down and long here with 56 seconds to play. Vikings up to the screen or up to the line of scrimmage. Throw it out far side and it's incomplete. Does it go backwards? It does, so that'll be a fumble out of bounds and they'll lose yardage again. Back to the 30. And they got to get to the 49 for a first down. So it'll be third down and about 19. So 52 seconds left to go. This time they're going to hand it off to Henson. Almost looks like waving the white flag here. So Henson takes it, is taken down.
Brings up fourth down to the Vikings.
So fourth down. And the clock continues to roll here. They're just going to hand it off one more time. Henson will get back to the line of scrimmage, and that was fourth down, so they'll stop it and give it back to the Tigers. Well, no, they'll let the clock roll. So Fort Scott will come away with a 16-point victory here as they win this one 22-16 over the Parsons Vikings. Take a short break and come right back and wrap things up. This is Fort Scott Tiger football on Duckbait TV.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Jamie K. Armstrong. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by Ora et Labora Painting Company, LLC. If you need residential interior or exterior painting done or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Ora et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help you with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Our broadcast is also brought to you in part by Liberty Savings. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. And if you're interested in helping us out at Duckbait Media, bringing more Tiger and Greyhound athletic events, become a sponsor today. Contact us at tonyabady@gmail.com, duckbaitmedia@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/duckbaitmedia.
pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. I am Tony Abatey back in Tigerville, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV. Hi everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you.
What a play by Fort Scott as they jumpstart their team with a big interception by Ty Marbury. Oh my goodness, he got rocked!
On dig that time, we'll go right back to the far side. A little drop shot that time from Stewart, and that one will fall.
It's in there! Abby Gorman, her third three-pointer of the night, and the Lady Tigers back out by 4.
Kick it out to Spencer into the corner to Dub. Three-pointer.
Got it! Bang! 1991, 1996, 2004, and now 2024. The Fort Scott Tigers and Lady Tigers will both be at the state tournament in Salida next week.
Welcome back as we begin to wrap things up here tonight. The Fort Scott Tigers with a big victory over the Parsons Vikings. 22-6 is the final score here tonight as Fort Scott improves to 2-0 on the season. They'll have their first official SEK League game next week as they'll travel to Independence to take on the Bulldogs. So we'll see how that one goes, as Independence was losing earlier when I checked their game to Mulvane. We'll check those scores again here in just a little bit, just a couple seconds here. But again, a good night for the Tigers here as they So again, Fort Scott with the victory here tonight. They got the first score as they scored on their first possession of the night and missed the extra point though, so they were up 6-0. Parsons came back and eventually tied the game in the second quarter 6-6. They missed their two-point conversion attempt, and so it was tied at 6, and then Fort Scott came right back, got another touchdown, a long run by Dub Chipman. And so Dub got in the end zone, and that made it. Fort Scott was able to get the two-point conversion, made it 14-6, and that was our score at halftime. The Tigers then, in the second half, got another touchdown and was able to get another two-point conversion. And again, we talked about the significance of that. It didn't end up coming into play very, very much, really. But at the time, the Tigers took a 16-point lead, which, of course, is 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions that they forced Parsons to have to get. Didn't come to fruition that they needed to get those, or that they would get either of those, as Fort Scott ends up with the final score also being 22-6. But again, a big victory here for the Tigers. So they have won their first 2 games and done so by 13-plus points. And so they are at the top of the 4A East standings heading into week 3. Of course, early to talk about that kind of thing, but pretty good deal for the Tigers there. Run through some area scores here that we can find really quickly. As let's see, Fredonia is trailing Eureka. That one in the fourth quarter, 20-14. Shawnee Mission South is beating Pittsburgh 30-15. That game in Pittsburgh tonight. Chanute up on top of Coffeyville, 34-7. Baxter Springs at halftime was leading Afton, Oklahoma, 7-0. Labette County was trailing Winfield at halftime. I think we had that score earlier, so that hasn't been updated, but it was at halftime, it was 38-15 in favor of Winfield. Marmonton Valley with a huge win over Yates Center tonight, 72-8, the final score there. Of course, that's an 8-man game. Wellsville shut out Iola tonight, 48-0. Humboldt defeated Cherryvale, big win there for them, 52-14. Oswego clobbered St. Paul 53-8, and Frontenac got the better of Colgan 26-0. So Frontenac shut out Colgan there. huge shout out to Leon Miller, his first year back with the Raiders after leaving Frontenac, coming over here to Parsons, eventually got to Girard, and then was in Neosho. He was on the Missouri side for a couple of years and taking over for Coach Smith, who took a position with Pitt State there at Frontenac, and continuing that program again there as Frontenac defeating Colgan 26-0 tonight in Frontenac. Independence fell to Mulvane. The final score there, 61-14. Neoda Shea defeated Blue Stem 28-8. The final score there. So some big games there. And wonder if KU might be looking for a new offensive coordinator after this, as they lose again tonight, 23-20. The final score there in Kansas City. So KU lost. I believe K-State was playing tonight as well. See if I can find that one really quickly for you. Yeah, they play their Big 12 game. Odd to say that, but a Big 12 game against Arizona tonight, and they're leading that one in the third quarter, 28-7. Of course, we mentioned earlier the Royals with a big win over the Pirates tonight. That helps them in the wild card standings. And, of course, the Chiefs play Sunday at home against the Bengals, who had a big loss against the Patriots this last weekend. So we'll see how ready they are to play. I'm sure they'll be fired up to play the Chiefs on Sunday. Yeah, the Royals are now 3 games behind Cleveland for the division lead. And they are 2 games ahead of Minnesota. So 5 games ahead of Detroit for the final playoff spot. So the Royals doing some good things there. Trying to see if they had it. Doesn't look like the app that I'm showing has the Royals' magic number. We learned a lot about that in 13, 14, and 15, didn't we? But anyway, things are looking good for those pro teams in Kansas City. Not so good for the college team in Kansas City this year, at least at the moment, as KU falls to 1-2 after losing to UNLV and Illinois last week. And again, just scored 20 points. So I'm sure they, after the heat their offensive coordinator got last week, he's probably going to get more this week. It tends to happen. But the good news is, and the reason we're here, is that the Fort Scott Tigers got another impressive victory here tonight as they defeat Parsons. 22-6 is the final score here this evening. Again, don't forget, we'll be in Independence next week as the Tigers head down to Emmett Field to take on the Bulldogs. And so we'll have that one for you. Coverage will start about 6:50 or so as the game will start at 7 on Friday night next week down in Parsons. We'll also be in Pittsburgh on Tuesday as the Tigers, Lady Tiger volleyball team, will be starting their SEK League portion of their schedule against Pittsburgh and Labette County. So we'll have that for you on Tuesday, as I don't have a schedule yet as far as who is going to play first or which teams play first and whatnot there, but looking forward to getting to that, as, again, the Fort Scott Lady Tigers have had a little bit of a tough start to the season, but they have played well in their matches. They just haven't gotten match victories yet. And so we'll see them go to, at least in the matches we've done. So they will go to Pittsburgh on Tuesday, and we'll have that one for you. That'll be our next broadcast here on Duckbait TV. And like I said, so next Tuesday, volleyball. Next Friday, football. Again, here on Duckbait TV. Thank you so much to everybody tuning in. I know we had several viewers earlier on, and yeah, 130 devices tuned in at one point in the second half of this one. So thank you again for tuning in here to Duckbait TV. This is why we do it. We enjoy doing this, getting out there and doing that. So again, thanks for tuning in tonight and enjoying. Hopefully you enjoyed another Fort Scott Tiger victory here on Duckbait TV. Again, don't forget, next Tuesday is our next broadcast in Pittsburgh. The Lady Tiger volleyball team taking on the Purple Dragons and the Labette County Lady Grizzlies. And then, of course, next Friday down in Independence, the Tiger football team will be down in Independence to take on the Independence Bulldogs next week. So, again, thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV. I'm Tony Abatey from my dad, Willie, on the camera tonight. Thanks again for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next time that we broadcast here on Duckbait TV. Good night, Kansas.